Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
Yeah, what we fight for here and declare your independence. With me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedom to the Nest. freedomsphoenix.com. On the line with me is Lisa Hajjar. She's professor in the sociology department at the University of California in Santa Barbara. And she recently wrote about Omar Suleiman as the CIA's man in Cairo and Egypt's torturer in chief. Well, he kind of got looked over. He got bypassed. He was that close, and then all of a sudden he doesn't get to play. Now, what we do have is the military has finally asserted their authority in the terms of, we got soldiers and guns and artillery and tanks and other kinds of goodies, and we say, you know what, we're in charge now. We declare martial law. We clear out the square. Everybody's gone, and now they're starting to come back. People say, no. Seriously? You think we think this is over? We think that you guys are going to have martial law and all of a sudden it's going to be all good without our influence? Heck no. So that's what I want to talk to Lisa about now. So what we have now in Egypt is what?
Well, let me just to clarify one thing. Within all of the institutions of the Egyptian state, the military has been, historically relatively popular and had enjoyed a lot of legitimacy. The police had no legitimacy because they, brutally tortured, Egyptians routinely. The Interior Ministry had no legitimacy. One reason the military has been so popular and legitimate, relatively speaking, is that it's a conscription army. So, it really is the army of the people. Now, what's going on now, in a sense, was that in the army the military had, by promising not to fire on protesters, while we can quibble about what this meant, ultimately it was the army's unwillingness to join with the police to try and crush the protesters that actually forced the regime to come down. Now, what we don't, it's difficult to predict now, but there's there's an armed supreme council of top military commanders, including Tantawi, including, Suleiman is on this as well, and they're basically trying to strategize how to, rewrite the Constitution, how to authorize elections, which they said will come in 6 months, and so on. I think, the question, however, is that the protesters want to make sure that the military is taking demands for robust democracy into account as they try to move from here. But let me just say that, Egypt, the fact that the military is now running the show isn't new as far as emergency law. The country has been under continuous emergency law for 30 years. So,
well, when do you finally come to the conclusion that they shouldn't be in charge anymore? Now they're giving themselves 6 months. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have, so that puts us, we're mid-February, so that puts us in, mid-July or something?
Right.
So you're going, okay, so by this summer, and Cairo and Phoenix, share a lot of geography. I know it's in the middle of July. It's freaking hot. That's what it is. And I'm going, okay, so it's mid-July, temperatures and tempers are rising, and there's going to be a lot more activity at night. So they're going to go, you know what? There's a curfew. Is there a curfew under the people right now?
Well, no, I believe that they've lifted the curfew. The fact that demonstrators are going to go back on Friday for a demonstration, whether to celebrate the revolution and, sort of assert a bit of, popular protest. They'll do that on Friday back in Tahrir Square. But no, I think that, the army and this is a prediction, but the army has no interest in ruling the country as a military regime. I mean, in other words, what the army itself has been, top.
They're a tool of who wants to rule.
Top officers have been able to, enrich themselves greatly by getting involved in development projects and so on. What the army wants, I think, essentially is to be able to ensure a stable Egypt where the economy can go back to functioning. One interesting thing the army did, and in some ways sort of demonstrating its goodwill to the people, was they, as soon as Mubarak was out of office, they contacted, the Army Supreme Council contacted Switzerland and asked Switzerland to freeze all of Mubarak's dozens of billions of dollars that are in Switzerland and in the United Kingdom. So that was an effort, essentially to try and repatriate that money back to Egypt to use for, development at a time of, declining.
Lisa, you got to help me out here understand this. I mean, I got the stories up right now in Freedom's Phoenix to where they're calling up the reservist. The military has declared martial law. They've given themselves, as of now, think about it.
What paper are you reading, by the way?
Let's take a look. This is Fox News.
You can't get you can't get serious news from Fox.
Okay.
Why don't you go to a reliable source?
Well, let's go ahead and see what it has to say here. The Egyptian army today called up thousands of military reservists as soldiers cleared Tahrir Square, the epicenter of the extraordinary revolution, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'm not going to base my life on Fox News. But, the thing is they're calling up reservists. So the thing is the military has just exponentially gotten stronger. Yes. They have more credibility now. They have given themselves 6 months of military martial law rule. So I'm going, now let me finish. What is going to replace it in your mind? Are the people really, because they're going, well, we're going to have elections. We'll have fair and honest elections. Hell, I can't get that here in the U.S. So I'm going, the Egyptians, are they going to have some kind of faith in a new electoral process? Well, then here comes the international community. To give credibility to whatever it is that we're going to put in place, we're going to come in with international observers. We're going to go in, we're going to pinky swear, we're going to have all kinds of purple fingers. And I'm going, I see, this is what I'm building up to. I see more of exactly the same thing that's going to happen to Egypt as has happened for the last 200 years. Now, the people, they may not accept it. They may go, yeah, we know better, and the internet helps make that possible. But I see a military rule in place with the support of the people, at least not the direct opposition as of now. When it starts getting hot, and it's already starting to get hot here in Phoenix now, and I'll bet you it's starting to, within weeks it's going to start getting warm in Cairo. They are going to want to do a lot more of their activities when it's not so blazingly freaking hot at night. Sooner or later, within the next 3-4 months, I guarantee, my assumption is curfew is going to be hit again. And if they don't have reasons, legitimate reasons, they will create them. So I'm going, by July, we're going to have elections, you would hope. They are going to, in your estimation, be, legitimate, accurate, represent the people. Are they going to have the people? What about the people that say, how about we don't have a rule? I tell you what we want. We want to have an election to where the provinces, the states, the smaller communities rule themselves, and there is no federal government. We want to have this. We want to have. There's going to be certain parameters, like Hillary Clinton's been saying, coming out going, oh, no. We can't have a void. We got to have it structured the way we want it so that we can deal with them, so we can be served by we all the way home. So I'm going, okay, your assumption is you're happy with the way it's going or you're not. You think the military is going to give up power or it's not. They're going to do it in name only or it's going to be a true civilian-run government. And is it going to have outside country influences? So I'm looking 6 months down the road. What do you see is going to be in place and how is it going to get there?
Well, what's happening right now, in other words, the reason why they're projecting and promising elections in July is because they have, as soon as the army took over, Mubarak was, sort of removed. In fact, he was removed. He was refusing to leave, and the military threatened to put him on trial for treason if he didn't fly off to Sharm el-Sheikh. So, in some ways, what the military did immediately, is they are the functional state at the moment, but they have been already in the process of drawing on different elements of the opposition.
Well, we're going to find out when we come back what those elements are and what influence they're going to have. Because all I got to do is wait. I know what's going to happen.